So welcome to another installment of Exploring Consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hub. Our topic today is grounding the light in. So I just want to put a little context there, and then we're just going to go straight in, and Tanya's going to kick it off for us. Most of you guys on this call now have realized by now that the solar system, our solar system has changed space. We moved into a different space, right? We moved into a different era of light. So there's a different density of light, which of course influences our perception, our DNA experiences, the way we eat, the way we look, even the way we experience things, the way we perceive things. Now, this now opens up the question in how do we actually then ground ourselves in that particular eighth color of time? That's what we call it. AB calls it that. I don't know if any other, teachers talk about the eighth color of time, but basically having moved from the seventh into the eighth color of time, everything, the physics have changed. Everything is changing. Now we still need to ground. But the question is, and this is what we're going to explore with Tanya today, how do we ground ourselves in the eternal moment? And what is that all about? Yeah. So I'm just going to pass it on to Tanya, and thank you very much for coming on. Do give us a little, if you want, a little background about yourself. Yeah.
Sure.
For coming on.
Thank you. And thank you guys for all being here and listening and holding space. I really love this sharing portal and this collaboration portal. So I'm so excited to talk about grounding today. It's one of my favorite subjects, and I'm a Taurus. So I'm born on Earth Day, actually, and so naturally have a propensity to be grounded and connected to Earth. I think that, talking about this, well, I'll go back to myself for a second. So I'm a Reiki master and a crystal therapist and a sound therapist, and I specialize in energy clearing and alignment. Ever since I was a kid, I've been able to communicate with plants and animals, and kind of had a very slow awakening in stages and stages and stages. And used to work in corporate, like probably some other of us here. And when it was time for me, to leave that job and do this work full time, that was an intense transition. When I was first attuned to Reiki, crystals started talking to me. And I was like, you want me to what? Put you in the window? Okay. So I started listening. And the crystals have been really great teachers, right? And crystals, they are made of earth elementals. And we are made of earth elementals. And when we start working with that energy in conjunction with the way we walk through life, in conjunction with, the way we communicate with people and the way we see ourselves, we start really expanding that consciousness, but also, we can connect more fully with the spirit of Earth Mother, right? And fulfill, whatever our contract is here with her. So, talking about, what Andrew calls the eighth color of time, I like to refer to as the new operating system, right? Where we're going through this transition period from an old operating system. I think probably everyone has upgraded their computer system at some point, right? And what I see in working with my clients and working with myself is that we're making an energetic transition, right, from this old operating system to this new operating system, but the human body is making that transition as well. So looking at, the energy field mechanics in the chakra system, and how can we open more fully to anchoring into this new operating system, right? Which is the multidimensionality. Yeah. So, so I have a little guided meditation that we can do, or we can talk about how, each one of us likes to ground themselves. Whatever you think we should go through first.
I'd say I'll leave it to you, Tanya. You just
Okay.
whatever feels right for you, and we're just going to play with you.
Okay, great. So I think first I just talk about the chakra system and what I see in this old operating system versus this new operating system. So there's a lot of old information out there about the chakra system, and what I've seen is the chakra system is definitely changing. So one of the things that I think has happened with the systems of domination and control, or the world management team, and when we're born into this old operating system, is the chakras sort of function like this. And we've all seen pictures of a chakra looking like a cone, right? Going forward and going backwards. But my experience is the chakras are locked in that position. And not all of them. It's usually the lower chakras. The root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra are locked in this way, functioning like this, right? So they each work individually instead of as a central channel. So what I'm seeing in the new operating system is they're making a shift, moving like this way to this way. Right. So now they're working like a central channel going through the body. So they look like alchemical circles to me, which if you've ever seen Doctor Strange, the way they create the portals of light, right? I would consider that to be an alchemical circle. And they can be unlocked. And once they're unlocked, then that multidimensional field can open up, and we can start grounding in our multidimensionality in this new operating system, this eighth color of time and beyond. Does anybody have any questions about that or comments? No? Okay. So, well, I think maybe let's just go through a little guided meditation to kind of all get really grounded and kind of look like what that flow looks like. So, yeah, we'll just drop right into it. And oh, I found some interesting information that in the new moon, Venus is aligning with the galactic center, which hasn't happened in a long time. So as we are all, our solar system is aligning with the galactic center. Also, we have this opening coming up for us. So Venus is the planet that rules Taurus, right? So allowing that grounding to come in and align with the galactic center also is a very exciting time.
Oh, that's interesting. That probably also connects to the compassion and the heart opening that we experience at the moment, isn't it? There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of that opening. And just because we're talking about Venus, I wouldn't say that now all of a sudden we all have the lovey-dovey relationships. It's actually more along those lines, what you just said, and also that heart opening. And once we've done the meditation, I've also got something on a slightly more physical grounding level we can then bring in with the heart. But yeah.
Great. So everyone just take a nice deep breath. Feel your breath opening into your abdomen, into your perineum, below your feet, into your heart. And with each breath, Feel yourself relaxing more deeply, dropping into that theta brainwave state. You can see your nervous system being cleared. You can come to that place of objectivity and love and compassion for yourself. And as you breathe, just let go of worry. Let go of fear. Let go of stress. Let go of any anger or frustration you may be feeling. Gratefully accept your many blessings and open your heart to unconditional love and let it flow through you. And now see all of us, see yourself gathered around the fire at the Earth Nouveau Hub. The space has been saged and cleansed. The fire has been stoked. And we are all collectively in oneness, along with all of the other people who will see this and hear this and be a part of this experience. So direct your attention now to the bottom of your feet and breathe into your feet. In the bottom of your feet, there's energy pathways. When they're open, you can begin to release old energy trapped in your body down into those loving arms of Mother Earth. And as you breathe into your feet, begin to feel your heartbeat in your chest. And feel your heartbeat now syncing with that slow, steady heartbeat of Mother Earth. The shaman's drum calling you back to groundedness, to collaboration with Earth Mother. And as you feel your heartbeat in your chest and that heartbeat resonating with Mother Earth, feel your breath moving in and out of your lungs. And your breath connects to the element of air, the air of Earth Mother, the wind blowing through the treetops, over the rooftops, through your hair, on your face, rippling your clothes. And as you feel your breath and your heartbeat, feel the blood ebbing and flowing through your heart, moving through your veins. And it connects with the water of Earth, the ebb and flow of the tides, the lakes, the rivers, the streams, the rain, the mist, the fog. And feel that energy flowing through you, activating in your body. And as you breathe into your body, you can feel your fire. We can feel the fire as we're warming our hands around that Hub Nouveau fire. You can feel that fire connecting with your spark of spirit. The energy in the volcanoes, the fire pits, the gas stoves, the candle flames, the barbecues, the underground ovens, and the flowing lava, the flowing magma. So feel those elements of earth working within you, and feel now those energy pathways in the bottom of your feet open. Now direct your attention a foot below your feet to your Earth Star Chakra, This is your wireless docking station to Mother Earth. And when this chakra is open and flowing, you begin to work with the magic of Earth, with her elements and with her energies. You can feel those energies coming up into your body. So see that chakra spinning open now. And it's almost as if there's a dinner plate a foot below your feet spinning in a counterclockwise direction, and it opens up the bottom of your blueprint. Your energy ball, your sovereign space. So feel that sovereignty, that ball of light around you that is you, that contains you and all of your energies. And feel your feet clicking into Earth Mother. That click in allows the energy to come up into your body. And feel yourself now as you connect with the South Pole at the bottom and the North Pole at the top. Feel yourself connecting into Earth's toroidal field. And it overlays in your blueprint because you are Earth and Earth is you. Now direct your attention to your root chakra, the base of your spine, your perineum, and feel your sit bones pointed down. And feel that magnetic connection of Earth clicking into your root chakra. And just be aware of the way your chakras are flowing. Take a look at your root chakra. And you can see a sword of light coming in and cutting away the old locking mechanism in the root, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart. And you can see the way your chakras shift now. The way they look more like an open dinner plate or a merry-go-round, spinning counterclockwise in your body. And you can feel that energy of Mother Earth now holding you, loving you, almost if you're sitting in her hands. And she holds you, and she sees you, and she loves you. And there's no judgment here. We all have our contracts with Earth. And as we begin to work more fully with this energy and bring it up into our bodies, we begin to flow and anchor into our purpose and path. And feel that root chakra. Feel the scarlet red energy beaming into your root chakra. And now feel all of your chakras dropping down into your root chakra, connecting with that groundedness. And they go back into their regular positions with ease and grace. So move up to the sacral chakra now and feel that spinning as we create this channel, this toroidal channel, to open up to our multidimensional toroidal field. And see that tangerine orange energy coming into the sacral, that center of creativity. You can feel the earth energy pulsing, that heartbeat of Mother Earth, pulsing in that creative center of sensuality, of sexuality, creativity. Now breathe into your solar plexus and feel the way the chakra has shifted, opening up that central channel. And you can see all the energy that you've taken in from other people, whether it be someone standing at the grocery store, your family, your friends, your clients. Send all that energy back. Nobody has any business up in your energy field except you. All that emotional energy you took from your family when you were a child, see it going back to sender or returning into those loving arms of Mother Earth. And as these 3 lower chakras spin up, they begin to work like a centrifuge. You think of a merry-go-round spinning. You are standing at the center, and all of the debris that you've gathered in your chakra system spins out and can be released now through the open energy pathways in your feet. Down, down, down into those loving arms of Gaia through your root chakra, past your feet, into your Earth Star chakra. And that energy that we release to Mother Earth, it works like compost for her, so you don't ever need to worry about releasing energy. And now see all those little lines of energy that you've put out to all other people in your life. See them like little fishing lines and unhook them and reel them back. Reel them back into your solar plexus. You begin to feel more of a oneness with yourself and with Mother Earth. Now see a canary yellow ball of light beaming into your solar plexus, into your nervous system. And that yellow ball of light works like a pebble in a pond, rippling through your nervous system, cleaning and clearing out any energetic debris that you have left over. It moves down, down into those loving arms of Mother Earth for transmutation. Now breathe into your heart chakra. And in the very center of your heart is a little tiny diamond. This diamond core God cell, this little portal of light. When you pierce that jewel with your breath, you can begin to feel all of the multidimensional parts of you opening up in this portal. Your threefold fire, all of your higher selves, your soul, all of your past lifetime selves. We all meet together in this portal of light within the heart. You'll see now a bright white light coming from your soul. The very soul, your direct connection to Source, to God, to Prime Creator, to the Universal Creator. And feel that bright liquid plasma light now flowing through you, down through all your higher selves, through your crown, through your third eye, through your throat, into your heart, anchoring in the heart of Mother Earth. This liquid plasma, bright white, sparkly, glittery, iridescent light flows down through you, creating a new energy pathway for you to be more grounded and more anchored. You can see that energy pathway coming from your soul, that liquid plasma moving through, down, down through your crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root chakra, through your earth star, anchoring like an acupuncture pin in the earth star chakra of earth. And these energy pathways of light created in the new operating system in the 8th color of time allow you to be anchored and grounded and connected fully. This is the intersection of spirit and physical. a being of light in the human body, unlocking the aspects of your skin suit. So breathe into your thymus gland now, a couple inches above your heart, and you can feel on your chest there's a little bump there, and you can tap it a little bit. So breathe into that chakra and feel it open. Breathe into your throat. Feel that throat chakra releasing all the negative words that you have for anyone, including yourself. Feel them spiraling down, 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 past your hips, down your legs, and out your feet into those loving arms of Earth Mother for transmutation. Breathe into your ascension chakra, your causal chakra at the base of your spine, your high palate. See that chakra opening up, if it's not already open, and spiraling. Now breathe into your third eye, your pineal, and feel all that old energy, what it means to be human, what it means to be someone's daughter, son, child, mother, father, what it means to be someone's employee, to run your own business. What does it mean to be you in this world? And see any old templates being removed, spiraled and centrifuged out from the third eye, out of your energy field, down, down, past your heart, past your belly, your hips, down your legs, and out your feet, to be transmuted by Mother Earth. And as you breathe into your third eye, you can feel your vision opening up for your life path, your life purpose, for your highest trajectory in direct connection with Source and your source code. Now breathe into your crown chakra and see a broom of light, a broom with bristles that are made of gold and silver and white, sparkly, iridescent light sweeping your crown chakra, sweeping your blueprint, your aura, your energy field, removing anything that's not yours. And now your soul star chakra, a foot above your head, take a nice deep breath into that space. And feel that energy at the top of your blueprint, your energy field. Feel the energy of the sun connecting here in the galactic center and the universal center. Feel yourself connecting with the toroidal field of the sun, of all the planets in the solar system, of the galactic center, of the universal center. And your rarefied liquid light comes down through that soul star, down through all your chakras into your earth star. And you see the sparkling, glittery light in your energy field. And now visualize your DNA and that liquid plasma light coming from your soul. And it moves down through your 12-strand bundle, your 24-strand bundle, your 48-strand bundle of DNA. And as it moves through your twisted ladder, it scrapes away the old programs from your ancestral lineage. Almost cracking an eggshell around the DNA so it opens. So you can consciously work with it and feel that liquid plasma light flowing through the sides of the twisted ladder, repairing the rungs of your ladder, swirling away any old energy. And you can feel this working on a cellular level. Feel all that energy that you're transmuting through the DNA code now. All the unworthiness and the fear and the doubt and the abandonment flowing down, down out of your heart, down, down your legs, out your feet into those loving arms of Mother Earth. So breathe now into your energy. You can see now your highest trajectory and all of those parts of you that have left your body over the course of your lifetime, sliding back down, down into that portal of your heart. You can see yourself sliding into you like a hand in a perfectly fitted glove, snapping into that tiny diamond in the heart center. So now just take some nice deep breaths and feel that anchoredness. Feel you in the driver's seat of your car, your vehicle, your spaceship. And as you breathe into your body, begin to slowly come back to yourself. With nice deep breaths, allow yourself to return to your awareness. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. And very slowly open your eyes and come on back to yourself.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a, I yawned all the way through. That's usually for me, body saying, I like that. Thank you. It was such a beautiful, energetic integration and grounding. Thank you very much. How was that for you guys?
That was amazing, Tanya. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you.
I hope you're not driving, Alfredo. Are you driving?
I'm driving, but I'm driving responsibly. But no, like, I got all sorts of visuals. It was amazing, Tanya. And then your voice is so calming and serene. Like, holy shit. That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Lana says, great meditation. Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful. You were saying that you yawned all the way. I yawned at the very end.
Yeah.
So like Alfredo said, your voice was very calming. I would have preferred though that you had gone slightly slower, because when you're saying to imagine something, and by the time I get to imagining, you're at the next thing. So, it's moving a little way too fast.
Sure. Thanks
to get
for that.
the picture in mind and then move to the next one. So no, just a thought.
Yeah, what I would suggest is when you guys revisit it, you can always pause it, because obviously for the purpose of this Zoom, it's nice to to get through so much, and then when you want to have another experience, you can always pause it, or even because you brought in so many amazing things. That is nice to be transcribed as well, because she did this out of her I was going to say ours, but out of her, total spontaneous. So that's really beautiful. But transcribe it. I'm working on the voice. It's very soothing and it's lovely to ease into deeper, quieter space. Thank you, Lana Shoba, saying that. Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't do the meditation, Shoba. It was Tanya.
No, but just pointing it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fabulous. Fantastic. So did anyone have any particular questions to that, or anything that they want to ask Tanya? because obviously you've been doing this for some time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've got a question, because when you say energy field mechanics, I really like that expression. Is what else other than the chakras are you working with?
So for me, what it feels like, some of the things that I'm grounding and anchoring conceptually on Earth is this expanded blueprint, right? This expanded energy field. So when you think about your chakra system, right, that's just your central channel. And when you think about the toroidal field, right, it goes all the way, from your soul star chakra a foot above your head to that earth star chakra around the bottom. So it's almost like, I don't know if you guys have seen those giant balls that you can walk in, walk in
Yes.
water on, or walk on. It kind of looks like that to me in a way. But one of the things that's coming in for me is, I'm doing my own daily practices and really becoming aware of the way that energy is working around me. It's almost like the energy mechanics that are opening up here are a series of circular energies that work with that giant ball of light, right? That is your blueprint. So, I mean, I see the energy toroidal field, but now there's also these other energy mechanics that are coming in, right? That are spinning in all different directionalities, right? So as we, I think opening the chakra system, that's like step one, right? To anchoring into this new energy.
Yeah.
And, I think there's so many talks about like ascended masters, or people appearing through like a ball of fire, right? If you look through kind of history and writings, right? Whether it be the Bible or the Mahabharata, or Native American traditions and energy, right? It's all appearing in a ball of fire, and that's what our blueprint is, right? It has this capability for us to walk on water and walk on air, and dance with the energetics of the human body as we connect to these celestial bodies of earth and the sun and the galactic center. And yeah,
I like
it's a lot.
that, and that's very much. I like the way you say expanding the blueprint, and that's very much like what we said in the beginning. As we have changed location in space, as the solar system is obviously the fundamentals of our DNA are changing. So like the blueprint is expanding. Now, if I want to add something to that from a more, this was a very energetic experience. Now, I want to add a sort of a mental awareness to that. Staying from a place of grounding, as looking at the levels of awareness. For me, when I look at grounding, apart from the energetic that you've just led us through so beautifully, is the more grounded you are, the more aware you actually can be. And no matter where we have moved in space, we are still in a space-time bubble. So we're still experiencing space and time. So our awareness is linked to space. There's a spatial awareness, literally through the movement, us moving. So if we take what Tanya just did with us, that beautifully expanded, integrated energy, and then from there, as soon as we start moving from one room to the next, all of that gets impacted by what we're moving towards or away from. So that spatial awareness is part of the grounding, as far as I'm concerned. We've got to really have And it's just really, it's a mental thing. It's an acknowledgement, an awareness thing. As we're going into the car and drive, as you know, everything changes around us. And of course, we are impacting on the surroundings through our spatial awareness or non-awareness, and we are getting impacted as well. And the invitation in this Zoom today is as well, do that energetic and then really work with the awareness of what is actually spatially happening around you. And you just mentioned something lovely, the new energies, the new energetics that are open up to us. And we, in the beginning, I suppose we can start looking at everything, the colors become actually more vibrant, you know, but you start almost, you know, seeing shadows all of a sudden, just a sweeping shadow going by and stuff like that, you know. So this is the spatial awareness, and that is really, really important for an advanced grounding master. Yeah, grounding, number one. If you're not a self-mastered, sovereign, celestial being, you're going to have an issue grounding. Yeah. So that's part of it. It doesn't matter how many times you do that amazing meditation, you've got to work with your self-mastery. That's an ongoing thing. Now, the more you, the more you be that and have that, the more you become aware of that special awareness. Now, space and time, I'll just finish that. There is, of course, now the temporal awareness, right? Now, on spatial awareness, I also remember, guys, we did a Zoom where we talked about the past lives, just to link it into the past and the future. Where do you perceive the past coming at you, right? Front, back, left, right, that thing, the timeline thing. That's also part of the spatial awareness. Because the grounding that we're doing now on Earth is no longer, it's the whole package that grounds us onto different planets. When we do astral travel and everything, yes, we're grounded here as well, but there is an additional thing. We want to be grounded on those planets at the same time, right? Because grounding for me is really maintaining a level of awareness that you have a 360 degree of, okay, I know exactly what's going on and where. And that, of course, as we talked last time about dreams, it's happening in the dream space too. This advanced level of grounding we're talking about is be grounded in your dream space. Yes, you know you're grounded in your body here on this planet, but you're astral traveling. Be grounded in your journeys at the same time. Have a spatial awareness. And also have a temporal awareness. Where are you? Which past life, right? It's fun to know these things. Am I in a past life? I'm in a future life. That helps us to maneuver around in a total aware, grounded space. Now, when it comes to time, the temporal awareness, I'm going to look at the mind, at the mind, heart, and gut complexity here. Because when I discussed that, when I brought up that question, actually, when we did the book, and we started talking about the mind, heart, and gut complexity from a temporal awareness. We've all heard of that. And I think there is part of it in the book anyway. But because you mentioned the thymus gland as well, yeah? The thymus gland is the first gland that actually starts to be created in the heart, together with the pericardium, and then it starts, over time, it starts moving out of the heart a bit higher there. But the thymus gland is actually the doorway for the spirit to come in the very beginning. And then we all know the thymus gland, becomes that one end gland or whatever he called it. It disappears and, less immunity and all of that. But what actually happens to the thymus gland, it links with the lymphatics. Yeah. So there is a link for temporal awareness between the thymus gland and the lymphatics. And that's really exciting from the perspective of, because it's an additional way of maneuvering and staying grounded, because it is actually separate from the vagus nerve. We know we want to be the driver on the highway of the vagus nerve, but that is separate. Temporal awareness that is coming from the thymus gland is separate to the vagus nerve. It's separate to the autonomic nervous system, the central nervous system. It's actually a different system. At least that's how AB explained it to us at the time. And it's quite nice to look at it from their perspective. And even if you do like a physical exercise, yeah, think of your lymphatics, right? Metabolism getting, you know, fired up and everything. Get this metabolism going. Get the stagnancy out of the lymphatic system. Get lymphatic drainage. All of that, very hands-on grounding, because it actually allows you to have a much better temporal awareness. Now, temporal awareness, the way I'm thinking, if we look at mind, heart, and gut, I was looking at an example to bring that together in terms of grounding. So I've got a field, a couple of rugby fields outside my house over the road. And when I think about it, so I am choosing now to be grounded. So I have to be grounded mentally, heart, and gut, to go slightly away from the chakra system. But of course, it's all interlinked. So when I look at that, what does it mean to be temporally aware, grounding awareness, from a mental perspective? So I know it takes me about 45 minutes to walk those fields. So I'm grounded, I'm aware mentally. Can I do this now? Do I have the time? So that's one, because I want to be congruent with all three, right? So it's very much, the mind is very much like fabulous timing. How long does it take me? Is now the time to do that? The heart is obviously not interested in how long it takes. The heart is interested in the experience. Is this something I really want to do? You know, what I'm going to get out of this? Is this lovely for me to do that, right? And then I was thinking the gut, and that's just from experiences, because sometimes, you know, I go so irregularly. It's just like the gut, all of a sudden, you know, I might sit in bed and think, oh, I'm just not going to get up today, whatever. I'm just going to do this. All of a sudden, gut says, go. Like, oops, okay. You know, so it's the gut and the heart and the head has to be in alignment. Even if the gut says, let's go, the head says, hang on a second, you have a call in 10 minutes, you can't go. And the heart says, okay, well, yeah, it's an experience that we can have afterwards, you know, that kind of stuff. Now that's a temporal awareness from a mind, heart, gut complexity, which is part of grounding and experience in, from all those perspectives, not just running away. Oh, it just feels like gotta go, and then you miss your call, you know. But the heart wants to just have an experience, and it's lovely. But grounding means, hey, heart, yes, you can either sit there and just imagine it. You can do that too. But if we really want to go and meet a couple of people there, dogs or whoever is walking there, then we have to bring it all together.
I like the way you're talking about the lymphatic system, and just a note about that the lymph glands, they work like little cups. Right? And when you jump, they open up and then the lymph fluid can circulate. So a great way to clear that lymphatic system is jump on a trampoline or jump rope or jog if you're a jogger, or even just bounce in place, bounce on your heels. And you can feel that energy in your lymphatic system start to flow and move.
Fabulous. And we all know how much more grounded we are when we do this. A bit of sweating, right? I was like, whoa, I'm here, right? Now that's part of that temporal awareness that is linked to the lymphatics, that is linked to the thymus gland, that is, you know, and then we know there is obviously temporal manipulation and all of that. I don't want to go into that at the moment, but I just thought it's nice to link awareness to, because the other thing is we've done grounding before, and when are we actually out? when we're not in the present moment is when we're fully conditioned, right? When we have so many old wounds. Abuse is, of course, one of those, because when you haven't healed yourself to a certain level to maintain that self-mastery and sovereignty, it's very difficult to ground. Because the body is still, and it's so easy to be ungrounded. Lots of people think, it's not just being physical. It's not just doing those amazing exercises. You can do this amazing exercise and still be totally fucking ungrounded. Right?
Totally.
What you showed us was an experience. If you go and you just like, oh God, what did she say? And I need to write this down that I don't forget and this and that. Well, then you are not in the body. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The more you think, the more you're out the body. Doesn't matter if you keep saying it. I've had this experience. I've been a yoga teacher telling people to ground, saying to myself, first time I got on the couch with the what did I say? The craniosacral, he said, you're not in your body. I'm like, what? Yeah. So self-mastery and all of that self-healing work is part of getting you into the body. Now, there's thousands of things we can talk about, we've talked about, but today in this series, we're going to talk about, okay, what's next? How are we going to go and travel in time space? And once we know how to do it in time space, right? Energetically, mentally, feeling, because we want to feel it as well, right? When we are in these different places, we want to actually have, really amazing experiences. As we're doing that, we want to be able to work with our gut feeling when we astral travel. We want to be able to trust that gut feeling. And also sometimes use the mind. That's got nothing to do with ego. Yeah, ego is a totally different thing. There's nothing wrong with using your mind. For God's sake, we need it, right? So the people then get rid of your ego. What are you talking about? You need it in this time-space equation. Depending how you define it, of course, yeah? So when the mind and the heart and everything works together, and then all the chakras are aligned, and how easy is it to throw the chakras out? One negative thought, right? Just like with the vagus nerve.
Yeah, I see this root chakra, when people have a wounded child within, right, who gets easily triggered, right? The root chakra just goes, snaps shut, right? And then everything starts stacking up in the body, all of the, emotions and fears and doubts, and we need to like keep that system open so that energy can flow. We don't need to hold it in our bodies. It's like grounding information, right? I know that when a lot of information is coming through, we can feel full and bloated, but allowing that to download into the skeletal system and download into the Akashic records of Earth, right? So we have access to it.
Absolutely.
I think this goes back to I love this temporal awareness, right? This awareness of what is going on around you. And for me, that's a deep listening, right? When I'm doing my own daily practice of grounding, there's also a deep listening that happens, right? What is going on in my physical space around me? But then what is going on, what am I hearing next door, in the block over, and in the city, and in the state and the country, and you can expand from there and just be present, right? When you're present with all of those things, you don't need to bring them into your energy field, but I think having an awareness, right, allows even a deeper sense of centeredness and grounding, like and oneness.
And I love that. And also this level of awareness, as we said, is not going to go away. It's getting exponentialized through the change in light, of density in light in our bodies. We're becoming more and more aware of what's going on outside of ourselves. Now, the focus and the awareness and the groundedness is becoming really, really, really important to, of course, to stay that unentangled observer. That's where the unentangled observer comes in quite a bit as well. So when we talk about the grounding, we need to talk about the unentangled observer. We know what that is. Non-judgment. Doesn't matter what happens around you. Soon as you have a judgment, as soon as you start resisting, as soon as you start freezing, as soon as you start withdrawing, you're no longer grounded. These are all the opposites of being grounded. If you're grounded, you're aware. It's almost like, I almost want to say grounded. Look at grounding as a level, as awareness now, because it's that important. Because it throws you out. You're not if you get thrown out of awareness because you go into entanglement instead of staying outside, you go outside of grounding. Would you say that, Tanya, too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
almost like the same kind of energy I'm feeling now.
I think that, you know, this awareness of all the things that are going around you, it also, you know, comes through the portal of your heart, right? But when you're centered and anchored in that, and your center place, right? It's like the storm can be raging around you and you can be aware of it and you can see it, but you are the eye of the hurricane, right? You are the calm, you know, solace within yourself, and can draw all of your magic through that center space.
Absolutely. And you know, the thymus, you were saying tapping the thymus is a really cool thing if you feel like anxious or worried or anything like that, you know. And lots of people actually, I've seen a post on Facebook, I think they're talking about some people have heart fluttering. They think they've got a heart problem or something. And that's actually exactly what Tanya just said. It's coming through the higher heart and the compassionate coming out. So that is the link, just like we were initially saying, it's the doorway to spirit. Yeah. And that's still there. And it's all linked. And in order, because we are in this space-time reality, the temporal awareness is when it comes through the heart. So what I'm going to do with it now? Gut. Do I want it to come through the heart? Just because it's coming in doesn't mean that I want it, right? I'm perceiving it through the heart because it can happen that way. But does it mean I need to keep it? No, not necessarily. And that's why link it up. Go rational on it. Does this feel light or does this feel heavy? Just because I'm feeling it, is this mine? All these things, this is where your connection is. And all of that, all these tools help us to stay grounded. And those energetic chakra meditations, almost like taking a super, super cool bath, you know, like having a nice wash once a week or 3 days a week or whenever you fancy. And other than that, what else can we do in order to stay grounded? Now, does anyone wants to say something? Has anyone any questions for us or for Tanya or for anyone? Okay, I'm also want to go back to the spatial awareness then, you know, because we covered the untangled observer. Now we all know what that is, right? We can bring in the implicate and the explicate there as well, right? So think of spatial awareness. It's like we're all here right now, right? So that's spatial awareness. We're all grounded here having this conversation unless we are going cuckoo and thinking of something completely different. So that's very being in the explicate, right? We're right here right now. As soon as we're finished with that and we're turning off the computer, we're still thinking back on the Zoom, just like Alfredo said, he's still thinking of that Zoom that he's done, you know, he's still creating changes to that Zoom in a way. He's in his bubble of reality, right? Just by thinking about it. He's coloring in, again, that was part of the book as well, coloring in the experience, his perception through that, right? Now, can we actually say one is more grounded than the other?
I mean, I think it's a work in progress, right?
It's not, isn't it? He was grounded when he was here because he was totally in it, la la la. And now he's in the implicate order, still sort of grounded, changing his own perception. So what I'm saying here is this grounding business is starting to get beyond, right? Just being totally present.
Mm.
So we need to start thinking, or this is an invitation to start thinking eternal presence.
Mm.
Because what happens at the moment, so many people get thrown, so many people have issues at the moment, like something is not happening in this particular moment, in this lifetime. Now that's being very present, really, with that. You know, what can I do with it? But in the internal presence, it's a completely different story, right? From an eternal presence perspective, you are perfectly okay here right now. From a long-term agenda perspective, right? So I know this is taking it outside of but this is what I would like to start looking at as well at some stage at the level of our, exploration, is because as a multidimensional being, you got to be grounded in the past, in the present, in the future at the same time, because it happens right here. And
all happens in the now.
All happens in the now, and maybe that exploration is not required to bring it all in and you just say this is it. But I'm kind of a very logical person in a way, and I like to understand things my way, and sometimes I like to dissect things in order to put it back together again, and all of a sudden, okay, now I'm happy. Now it can happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's okay to say what is right brain, what is left brain, knowing that you're all one. What is mind? What is spirit? What is that? Then you bring it all together again. Any questions to that, or anything you want to add, or, and some would say that has fuck to do with grounding. For me, it has, in a way, because awareness is grounding.
Well, I think too, when you're bringing your awareness, to your consciousness, right? Then you're also saying, okay, what else do I want to bring in? What else do I want to bring to ground, to my body, right? Into that energy field, into that energy portal, right? Because it can contain anything.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. And, we want to bring the gifts from our past lives and future lives in this now. We want to be quite, I want to. I know I've got unique gifts. So what is it? I want to know. Ground it in. And sometimes as I said, I could just allow it to happen, but I like the exploration of it. And sometimes I can visualize it. I'm just, it's nice to have a bit of a path in order to look around the corner. Oh, what's there then?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, do you guys want to bring your unique gifts from the lifetimes that we've had in here now? You want to start remembering those?
Remembering.
You want to become more aware of those?
Remembering,
Remembering,
right?
yeah. And the future.
Mm.
So time is not going to go away as long as we're living on this planet. In some way or shape or form. at least not over the next couple of 100 years, right? And even if we start acknowledging our own bubbles of realities, we still have to pop back in, the teachers that we are, to help other people, and that kind of stuff. So there was an interesting question I read. Where did I put this? Yeah. Think of that. Talking about grounding in all our shards, parts, factions, and all of that. So does your power reside in the past, in the present, or in the future?
I would say present for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we draw all of these parts and pieces back to our center, right? If we think of ourselves as a hub of a three-dimensional wheel with spokes going out in all different directions, and each one of these spokes is a place where we've left a little part of our soul, one of our soul shards. And as we're moving into this new energy, the way is clear, right? With the higher frequency light that's coming through, or higher density light, for all of these little parts to come back to our center, for us to remember. And so as we are aware and present within that heart portal, which I think as we progress into higher density, it becomes an expanded center with the thymus gland and the heart and the solar plexus working like the engine to drive the mechanics, right? But the heart is always that portal where everything exists in the now moment, or has the potential to.
Absolutely. Now, be honest, guys. Does your power reside in the past, present, or future? That was a very honest answer by Tanya. When I first read this, immediately I went to the past. Like, what? What's going on? What is going on? And there's no right or wrong, of course. But I was quite surprised how I immediately went into the past. I'm thinking, oops, okay, interesting. So what is that, right? There's obviously something going on that I haven't acknowledged yet, or that I haven't cleared yet, or haven't considered yet. So don't make yourself wrong if that is. I certainly don't, but I thought it was quite interesting. Lower hand, Lana. I mean, don't lower hand, just speak. Speak.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So when you were asking the question, the answer that jumped out at me right away was all three. I agree with what Tanya is saying. In the present, which we have sort of the most power to make changes, but then I feel like we can go back to the past to gather from our wisdom, from our experience, to enforce that, to make a change in the moment or something of that sort. And then the future has a lot of power in it because we have passed through the past, the present, and we've gathered all that wisdom from the past and the present moment. And the future is even more powerful. So in our present moment, we are pulling from all sides all at the same time, unconsciously, not knowing that we're doing that. So it's like a circular pulling of power. And that's the way I'm kind of visualizing this happening. Eh? How do you guys feel about that?
Cool, yeah.
Love it.
Fabulous. It's the circular, isn't it? The past, present, and future, you're continuously going through. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. I've got one here, Martina, listening to you guys.
Yes.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in and out a lot, but when I heard that question, it's like past, present, future. It is all one. You know, because I'm not such a limited being, just being present.
Good.
My expansion of what I am expands throughout the universe, the multiverse. And what is past? What is presence? What is actual presence? There is no now. It's constantly moving. This moment now is never here now. It's moving on. Therefore, we are fluid with that. If it's now, it's like the expression in stone. But we're so fluid. Or this is what's coming up as I'm hearing Tanya, hearing you speak, and it's really a wonderful question, and it's certainly got a lot of movement happening within me, within the self here. Am I past, future, future, past, present, now, present, future, present, past?
Yeah.
You can play with this in so many different ways and splice it down. And yet, all of that in the same moment.
Fantastic. So let me spice it up.
Yeah, go for it.
There's another question I wrote down is, can you live in any moment but this one?
Don't we do that all the time? When we screw up, we're not in the moment. So we're living in a different moment, whereas we should be in the moment. You get what I'm saying? Okay.
These are no, there's no right or wrong answer. These are just really cool questions because, from what Shoba just said, it's like, can I live in any moment but this one? No, because you live, but actually it just brings it back. Yes, because every past or future is actually always the now, So it doesn't really matter what, but it's a bit of a game. It's a bit of a playing with the subconscious here. What does the question bring up? On some level.
It makes me think of the Zoom that was done on time traveling. I think that you and Andrew did on time traveling, right? That we are time travelers, right? We're all we need to do is think of an event in our past and it brings us right to that time, right? Or create an idea for our future and it brings us to that time, even though we're still in the now.
Our body is in the now, but our consciousness is a time traveler that travels back to the moment that we had the experience, or if we're trying to create a future experience and we're thinking about it, like if we're going to have a party next week, we're thinking about that party constantly to put the party together, what we have to get, what we have to buy, who we're going to invite, so on. So we're time traveling into the next week to have that creation become objectified into our reality in the next week, right?
Yeah. So that eternal presence. So are we happy? Can we, because we're talking about grounding today, has that somehow put a different spin on grounding? Has that somehow reinforced what we know about grounding, what we think about grounding, or has it somehow opened a bit more space?
Well, I just had a thought here as you were saying that, and I'm thinking on a different mode of thinking here. And hear me out on this. Once we're born to a mother through the womb chakra, and we come into this bubble of reality and the Earth Mother, aren't we already grounded here? What more grounding do you need than that? You're in her dream once you're born, because she's dreaming us. So you're not outside of that grounding when you think in a bigger picture manner. So whether we like it or not, we're grounded within her dream. We're here. There's no escaping that dream until we leave. And you're dreaming me, I'm dreaming you, and we're all dreaming. She's dreaming all of us at the same time. So when we're saying we're trying to ground, it's probably not really what we should be doing. I mean, I mean, people probably have questions about this, but I'm just thinking about this aloud in this moment now to see if what you're getting out of what I'm saying.
Well, this is really the thing, you know, as we're using words in every of our Zooms and concepts and actually look at them. And so how has that changed? What has changed and how has it changed as we have moved into a different perception of time, of space, of, you know, the fundamentals of our DNA, the thinking, the thoughts, the feelings are changing in a way, you know? For me personally, I'd say that is a much more expanded, for me, grounding was always a bit of an interesting one. But for me, it has become much more expansive from a place of likening it to awareness. I don't know.
So when you're saying expanding or more expansive, is that we're becoming more aware of the bigger picture of the entire solar system, or the bubble of reality that we as a solar system is. So we're grounding into all those new knowledge that we're getting. For example, and Amy would say, you know, tell us about galactic history. We're grounding into all that information now that he's giving us. And this is the expansion, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. For me personally, the expansion on the multidimensionality that I'm starting to perceive and understand better for me personally has put a different spin on the grounding now. Has just expanded it a little bit without taking away, you know, the way it used to be.
Yeah, it
That's
used
just
to be.
the sense of exploration, you know.
Yeah.
That's coming up, and I'm sure as we carry on, this will gonna, you know, start.
I mean,
again
before
we're different, right?
before he brought the galactic history in, how many of us knew that there were 17 universes?
Yeah.
This is an example of grounding into a more expansive set of information. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
all of that has
and then as we're moving into a lighter part of space, it's giving us more room for us to integrate more of this information in a more ease way, a way of easing into the information, so that it doesn't pressure us or disturb us. So we push the information away, but it's a lighter space, and so the information as it comes in, we can integrate it, you know, at our own pace, more slowly, depending on, you know,
depending on the level of awareness. Yes, because you know, there's obviously the opposite out there too, right? Where people just completely blank out, refuse the information because they cannot expand their awareness, and they feel completely ungrounded even listening. Do you find it, again, there's the awareness and the grounding? Actually, it's funny, when I start talking to certain people about this, they just disappear. They literally disappear out of their body because they can't stay grounded enough in order to perceive that information. Or maybe they just get pissed off with me, but that too. But there is that level, the walls come up and gone they are, and you're just talking to okay, thank you very much, out you go, you know.
Well, I mean, doesn't this go back to the basic sovereignty and awareness of that sovereignty too? Like, I like what you're saying, Lana, about, you know, being born on Mother Earth, and you know, you're the fetus in the womb, and you're vibrating with your mother's heartbeat and the heartbeat of Earth, and then you're born, and then you forget everything, right? So, you know, what I see in the clients that I work with is that until they open up to that awareness that they have made a contract with Mother Earth, right? That they can work in this flow with her. That sometimes there's resistance, right? And sometimes there's so much resistance and so much fear and overwhelm of being anchored in the human body because they've forgotten that they're just whoop, out of their body, right? And those lower chakras are closed down. So, that's
Well,
been my experience of,
absolutely. It comes
what I
back to
see.
choice. I mean, that's the whole part of the experiment, us coming here. And yes, we are connected. Yes, we could be grounded, but we are not because of, the fact that we forgot everything until we get back into that level of grounding and awareness. But that is the basis. The basis is that, Lana, yes. But, without the levels of self-mastery and healing and sovereignty and all of that, it's taken us how long? And I was just thinking the other day, it's taken us so long to get here, right? So let's just enjoy it, right?
Well, I think too, the teaching traditions of, say, like indigenous native people, right, are to help those little children awaken to their contract with earth and the stewardship and working in harmony and peace and conjunction with earth mother as we all have these consciousness experiences of exploration of what it means to be human. But they're throughout westernized culture that those teachings have been lost. Right? And they're coming, of course they're coming back, right? And we're on the front lines as way showers, bringing some of those things back, bringing that awareness back, right? Each and every one of us.
And then, of course, the opening up now, the invitation of how to be grounded as a galactic citizen roaming different planets with our bodies. Keeping that link to the earth, keeping that link. There's more to that, which we haven't really explored yet or perceived yet. There's more to that than just keeping the link to earth, staying almost functional. It's very much like, I think and this is where it probably leads us back to the dreaming world, where we can practice now. If we can keep that functionality, that mind, gut, heart complexity in the singularity of a dream, right? Then we can do it anywhere. That's not just necessarily lucid dreaming, as far as I'm concerned. That's just, making choices in the dream. Lots of us have already started doing that, like being in a dream and all of a sudden saying, okay, well, this doesn't work for me. Let's dream something else, that kind of stuff, or make changes in the dream, Good. What else we got on grounding?
Well, a couple other things that were coming in for me are just what we can work with to support us, right? Whether it be food, right? Eating root vegetables, right? Beets and carrots and potatoes, right? Thinking about connecting with the trees, right? Feeling that tree trunk as your spine and the roots going down into earth, and the tops of the trees, right, flowing in the wind, right? That rhythm. The trees do have a rhythm and a pulsation. And I know you talked about the mushrooms, right? The root system that's like that electrical neural network, right? So when we eat those, they become a part of us and we can connect, right, to that energy. And I think working with crystals, one of my favorite things, working with the black crystals for your earth star chakra, like the black tourmaline and the hematite, the lodestone, the obsidian, the smoky quartz, the black
Quartz guy.
Oh, you got your smoky quartz.
What's the smoky quartz doing?
That helps you just ground into earth's light. Yeah.
Voila.
Yeah. Yeah. The red stones, the red jasper is one of the best stones for like nurturing that root chakra and supporting the wounded child.
Mhm.
You know, I was as I was walking this morning, I was thinking about fire and how to ground that element of fire and lava, right? Thinking about like walking on lava, right? That is fire turned into stone, right? What a beautiful alchemical process that is.
Mhm.
Bringing that element to something physical and tangible that you can hold in your hand.
Mhm. Now that brings up, working, actually grounding all the elements that we're all part of anyway. Thoughts, air, blood. What is blood? Fire, water. All of that. Actually having just playing with that more awareness of what we're actually made of, right? And then appreciating that we are grounding those elements by just walking because of who we are, so that's yeah. Animals, right?
Animals, petting a dog, petting a cat, playing with a dog. I mean, that brings you right right back to that, presence.
I see there's another thing that comes in as we're talking about this now, is like with the different level of grounding now and the different level of awareness and the expanded energies that are in, the level of manifestation is different too, right? The way we start actualizing things into our reality.
Well, I was just thinking about name it, the name it to claim it,
Mm.
segment that we did a couple weeks ago, where you're breathing in and taking that breath and turning it into words to manifest in your reality. Like, what are we claiming, right? That's air coming out of the lungs and over the vocal cords and creating an energy vibration.
So let's connect that to time, temporal awareness, yeah? Because we're talking about time passing. So what are we perceiving as time passing? And now let's put this into the mind, heart, and gut axis. Are we perceiving time as thoughts passing? Is it actually the thoughts that are passing that we are perceiving as time? And then just look at the percentage of that. How much of the time that you're perceiving that is passing is actually thoughts passing? Just get a number for the percentage. And then how much are we perceiving, how much experiences are we perceiving as time passing? And what's the percentage of that? Just pure experience. And then the third one would be how much intuitive action are we perceiving as time passing? And get a percentage of that. And then see, are you out of whack? Are you pretty much aligned? Because time is, as we know, an illusion, but time is obviously something we use. So is it the thoughts, the actual experience where the thinking does not necessarily come into it, or is it just impulse? Yeah, but could be negative and positive. But how does that come through for you? Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, it's different every time, right? Because sometimes thoughts and writing or it's, intuiting seem to take a long time. And sometimes it seems to go in a flash. And then you look at the clock and you're like, oh, wow, that was 2 hours. What happened to that, so you don't have the, or don't have the experience of the time passing, but all of a sudden the time has passed.
So why I'm asking that is when we look at the complexity and equanimity, balance, harmony between those three, and it's just playing with it, so pick what you like and leave the rest. I'm looking at how much do I intuit and feel like I want to do, but then don't take action on it, that it actually creates an experience. Yeah. So I can honestly say that I think my gut fires much more than the actual experience. I'm allowing myself because I don't necessarily take the action. There used to be a bigger percentage on the thought process because I was like continuously, that is no longer there. It's more like I need to work on, and this is just a tool you can use in order to get more grounded. I'm certainly perceiving for myself that I've got a higher level of gut impulse. I'm getting intuitively impulsed, but I'm not doing anything with it. And it's not a right or wrong. It doesn't make me feel bad, but just when I ask the questions, there is a little out of whack between the experience, the heart, and the actual intuit. How is it for you guys? Did that make sense, that little exploration? Did it help? Yeah, to look at that?
Yeah, I think I'll have to have a deeper awareness. Pay attention to it, which I haven't really thought to pay attention to that.
Yeah, let's look at that from a grounding perspective, but I can, I'm thinking, definitely that. There was a time where definitely the brain would have taken over with 80%. Yeah. But that's no longer the case. But I know there is this little, okay. So, and then of course, what comes into this, well, how can I use my time to have more experiences, right? To create, because the heart just wants to experience whatever, doesn't really matter. It's not about joy and glory and everything. The heart doesn't matter. It wants the experience, right? Long-term agenda. Of course, we feel better when we have a joyful one, but making mistakes can be equally joyful depending on the level of awareness that you have. Lack of, no judgment. I enjoy making mistakes just as much because oh shit, right, learned this, still there, right. So that's another one. I'll leave you with that one. That's quite a fun one to look at as we look at, and it's connected to time and space, really. But, you asked us, how am I passing my time? Thinking, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of the grounding because you're continuously up in the head, continuously, letting yourself be intuited, but it doesn't come through as an experience. Well, then, what's with the grounding? We're not grounded, really, because I don't know. Can we say grounding is creating experiences? I would say so. That's what we came here for, right? To create experiences. No?
Certainly manifesting them into our reality, right? It's like the thought assessment of how long is it going to take me to walk around those rugby fields, right? Okay, that's about 45 minutes. Do I have time for that right now? Or is my rest more important, right? And so you get impulsed and you think about it and then you assess it and then you either do it or don't do it, I guess, right?
Yeah. And rest is part of that experience, right? If you get impulse not to go, well, that's cool too. I mean, I think, I should go. I haven't been walking for 2 days, and the gut says, no, not really. And then not have the experience, have a different experience, the opposite of what that is, the coin, the harmony, the balance. Nothing is more important than the other. Nothing is significant. That's the only way of getting out of judgment, when you make nothing significant and everything just is.
So I want to get back to your question about thought, because the last couple of days I've been pondering the question. It's funny that you brought it up. What is a thought? And the first answer that came to me when I asked the question, what is a thought? And the answer that came was, it's ageless. It's always in existence. It's eternal. It's there. It comes from the Great Spirit. Everything exists within the Great Spirit as in thought form. And so when we are pondering a question, we get the answer because it already exists as a thought within the mind of Great Spirit. And we pull from that. Because we, as being who are experiencing and having experiences all day long, we're adding into that giant mind of Great Spirit the experiences, and these create the thoughts that we can now pull from. And so they become, because there is no time, it remains as something eternal and ageless. And that's my perspective, where I was getting the answer as I asked the question.
Yeah, well, I'll chunk it up. What is a thought? A thought is consciousness, part of consciousness, pure consciousness, pure energy, pure awareness. Absolutely, and it doesn't go away. It's in the field. Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to add that also came as I was pondering what it was, is that when you're trying to co-create, right? Think of it as pulling thought forms and creating a giant idea. So when you take little thoughts and you bring it together, it becomes this complex thing now that is the idea that is going to objectify and manifest into being.
So let me give you my take on that. Yeah. Just as a contemplation, you got the thoughts, markers in time. Yeah. Now, more thoughts become a thought form, become a belief. The more you think that thought, the more people think that thought, it becomes a belief structure. And it becomes a judgment, positive or negative. Yeah. So just be aware of that. I'm a big fan of letting go of beliefs, letting go of thoughts and everything, and then just really choosing what works for me, going based not so much on the thought itself, but on the energy of it. Does the energy feel congruent with everything?
Well, I was thinking as well that thoughts are really in a neutral state of being. So when you pull on these thoughts and you bring them together to create an idea, or as you're saying, a belief system, if you don't bring in the right thoughts, you're not going to get the right objectification of that manifestation, right? So that's where it can go on a negative side of things. And so that's where you get rid of the belief system, right? And then you clear that out.
For me,
so it's like taking thoughts, but you're not taking the right pieces. Think of the jigsaw puzzle. If you're not putting the right pieces in the right spots, then you're not going to get the picture that's on there. So that's in a sense that you're pulling the wrong thoughts to make the idea of the picture. And so if it's no good, you believe it's good, but then you have to just scrap that belief altogether and start over again. And so that's like in a sense wasting your time as well, isn't it? Because you put all this effort and time to create this jigsaw puzzle, pulling on all these thoughts, but then you're not doing it correctly. So how much time are we wasting existing as well? That's another thing to look at. I'm just thinking about that.
How much time? Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we didn't have to pick the thoughts that have been created by others, because most of them have been created by others, for our jigsaw puzzle, and just create our own puzzle, right? Yeah.
So that's where we're at now. We're trying to get to that point where we create our own
Yes.
that works for us. Because it seems as though
Right.
the past didn't work very well for us, and we wasted so much of our time and effort and energy. It got harvested by, domination and control over the years, because they prefer that kind of existence so they can harvest from us, right?
Exactly.
So when we start creating our own, then we cut them off.
Exactly. So can we breathe? Deep breaths. Just relax into that eternal space of presence. Eternally grounded in all the different dimensions, galaxies, universes, simultaneously, all the lifetimes, past, present, and future. And just choose whatever we require in that moment. And then run it through that complexity. I want to thank Tanya for your lovely contribution and for guiding us through that amazing meditation. And as I said early on, it's a good one to transcribe it. And then if you do, share it, please, on Earth Nouveau. All of us. And yes, the floor is open. Thanks, Tanya, for coming on and contributing, and more than normal, yeah, and showing us, the work that she's doing. And anyone who wants to do that, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know, and we'll see what we're going to do next week. But that was a good one. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Tanya.
Definitely.
That was really
Thank
good.
you.
Good discussion again today.
Welcome. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here and, showing up and adding your energy. I love it. Love it. These are really, really great sessions. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Thanks very much. So I'll see you guys next week. Yes. All right. You take care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.